Hi, I'm Queen of Hearts.
I'm Meta.
And we are the Black
Sheep
Gypsies. So guys, our first card out of the gate is Archangel Raguel, and it's Clairsentience. And it says, notice your reoccurring physical and emotional feelings as they signify divine guidance. So, Clairsentience.
So what I first pulled, and this one is out of the Akashic Tarot, and so it's not real typical. And this one is Hilarion. And this is, your ancestors are speaking to you and they're becoming a lot louder. And I think a lot of that has to do with, because right now we're kind of warring. Unfortunately right now there's a lot of stuff going on with civil rights, and there's stuff going on with black versus white, and there's, and this is old ancestral stuff that all of us, regardless of whether we participate in it in these times or not, ancestrally we've all participated in it. And so it's time to start really learning about all of that and start coming to a point where we can not we can heal that ancestral damage, because it takes a village to do that. And I think that that's kind of the big message that those cards have.
For sure. I've got the High Priestess and the Hierophant. And so there's a lot of things that are not being seen, especially in the media, that's not being shown. Not only that, it's saying that now's the time for you to break tradition and what you normally do, and break the silence as far as you taking the lead and going your own path, your own way. And this is the High Priestess. You have everything that you need in order to succeed. And it's saying it's time to break the silence and break tradition. And I feel like there's still a lot of things that are not being shown in the media, that dig deeper. Look on social media for live video streams of rioting or peaceful protesting that's not being seen on the mainstream news. But it's time for you to step into your power and break tradition. Okay?
Because of everything that's going on, we've got a lot of anxiety, and that's something that is just collectively we all do. First it was the pandemic, and then there was all of the stuff with George Floyd, and all that did was just cause it just caused a complete collapse of the system as we know it. And a lot of us have been truly anxious. I know I myself have been, but it's time to take the temple path. Okay, not only is this in a spiritual manner, right? But you need to be, I think once you come to your center and have some more meditation, connect with your guides, your angels, God, whatever you call it, you will find, so here's the angel of love. And I think that you'll find divine love. You'll find self-love. You'll find love for your brothers and sisters and the collective. And I think it's really important to find that love, because I think we've been playing around with the idea of love and never actually really having unconditional love for one another. And I think at this time, for everyone, like everyone. And that's the thing, even the people who think differently from us. And that's a really hard thing to do. And I know I have a hard time with it. So it's time to start healing those and look at where a lot of your own inner stuff comes from.
I was really kind of blown away and didn't know whether or not this card resonated just for me or for the collective. And Meta was like, of course it's for the collective. You silly, just asked for a clarifier. So there's another card to follow. But this is the Sorrow card. And if you look at this card, she looks like Mother Mary, and right now there is a lot of sorrow, a lot of deep hurt. And the clarifier that I asked for, there's a lot of healing. Her tears have healing powers. But I asked for a clarifier on the sorrow, and I got heavy burdens. And that's the 10 of Wands. That's carrying everything yourself. So I know I woke up in a funk today, talking to my friend. It helped a ton. And then, shower, put on your face. But it's saying to reach out. You don't have to carry this burden alone. We're all in this together.
Okay. Ain't that the truth? All right, the next couple of cards that I drew. I love this. This is a new deck that awesome. I got that has, there's no words. So you have to just interpret the pictures yourself, which is one thing I absolutely love. So this is the first one. I'm going to leave it here for a sec so you can get a good look at it. Which is actually how I read tarot. I was about to say you should, because that's how you read. Okay, so looking at this card, very much, there's a lot of self-imposed imprisonment happening that a lot of us are doing. And it's like, in order to get out of the shit that we're in, we have to come out the same way we went in. And we keep looking at all the things on the outside that are prettier or better, or, and it's like we're looking through this glass so we can see all the things on the outside that we want, or the things that we're envious of, or the what have you. And instead of just taking responsibility and making it our own, how do I explain this? So it's like we got ourselves into this mess, we have to get ourselves out. And this is on a personal level. This isn't a collective thing, as far like this is a collective message, but this card is specifically like as an individual, if this card resonates with you, the shit that you're in, you got yourself in, and you need to be the one to get yourself out, and you need to stop looking at other things with an eye of envy. Because, ultimately, if you keep repeating the patterns, see how she has, it's like the reflection of her here. It's like she just keeps repeating those patterns over and over and over without learning any of the lessons that came along with it. And she's locking herself out of her future. And that's, I feel like that's something that we're doing, is we just keep repeating patterns. And it's kind of like in any sort of addiction recovery, they talk about, the definition of insanity is repeating the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And I think sometimes we do that. I think for some of us, and for the collective, that it's actually quite literally addiction that we're dealing with, and it's a problem that you got yourself into and only you can get out. So for those of you that message resonates with, addiction is a bitch, and it's really hard to, but I think that might be part of this message too, is that addiction's a real thing. For me, I'm personally dealing with food addiction right now, and that has been exceedingly difficult. I personally have been in recovery from alcoholism for almost 20 years. So I know what that looks like. And so I know when my behaviors, I start doing the same thing. And then I look out at other people who are thinner, healthier, and I have envy for them. And I have to stop doing that, because only I can get myself out of that bubble. Yeah.
Addiction comes in many forms. You could be addicted to your damn phone. 95% of people watching this, they are.
Yep.
You can be shopping. You online shopping. You got Amazon coming all the time. You know your Amazon dealer more than you know your neighbor. But I'm going to grab that card real quick, because there's something that stood out to me while she was talking that resonated really hard with what I'm about to go into. And do you see these two open books in front of her? One's green, one's blue. And they're blank on the inside. The green, that's your heart chakra, and blue is your throat. So there's something that you need to be saying, whether it's on paper or out loud. But it's saying it'll help open up your heart and provide freedom. Your words have freedom for your soul. They call it spelling for a reason. You're creating a spell. What are you spelling? Is what I want to know. But it's saying there's some freedom with what you have to put to paper. And the reason why I was so drawn to it is because this intention card, I was like, what intentions? What do they need to do? And it's saying you need to write, you need to scribe. All right? And set your intentions. There's freedom in it. And then it's saying also dream journal. There's 2 books so in front of her, and it's saying you'll get clearer messages and see patterns through dreams. I love this picture. But there's some shadow work that you need to do. There's lots of emotion. If you look at this intention card, you see the water just coming out of the pan in her hand. There's full of emotion that needs to be released. And then it's saying you need to trust and take the fool's journey, and take that leap of faith. But there's something that you're needing to trust yourself, and really stand by what you believe in, and what God does pour out on a paper. Stand by that, because that's your truth.
Mm-hmm. You reminded me of something I saw with the
Go ahead.
Dreams card here.
Yeah.
So I saw something the other day, probably scrolling Instagram, that said the dreams that you remember aren't just dreams, they are messages. And that resonated with me because I was like, wow, I've had this one dream that I had recently that was really weird. And I'm still trying to interpret what that meant. And so pay attention to dreams, because they are messages. It's not just, on a physiological level, yeah, it's our subconscious trying to figure out, what we've dealt with throughout the day and kind of categorize everything and clean things up. But on a metaphysical level, I do believe that the ones that we remember are ones that, are messages coming through from our guides.
Sure.
So the next cards that I pulled are out of my Archangel deck, and this is the Six of Michael. And on the card it says, it's the light at the end of the tunnel. Breathe a sigh of relief and make new plans, relocation or travel. But my first thought is, we've been weathering one hell of a storm. The whole collective has been weathering one hell of a storm, and it's time for that to kind of start settling down. But we have, in order to find the peace that comes along with it, right? We have to work together. So this says, release the past. There is a more enriching future coming. Let go and let God. Okay, so that's on the peace card. And then next on that, so the way that this spoke to me is, so the next one is 10 of Gabriel. It says, ask your angels for helpful people to lighten your load, working too many hours, trying too hard to please others. And then there was another one that popped up, trustworthy, understanding, devoted, funny. There is so much to accomplish. Make a very detailed plan, being watched over by someone kind. So people, even if you don't have people in your life right this minute, you're manifesting people, or you can start manifesting helpful people that help lighten your load. And on a collective level, maybe we need to start, building, like God's army, as it were, to do the right thing. Build the army of people who are going to tear down the structure in the way that it's been. But for those of you on a personal level that are dealing with a lot of stress, find the people that you love and trust, and the ones that you can take your problems to, and just ask for help. Because a lot of times we're so stubborn. I'm the one. And I never ask for help, right? Like I get stressed out and I don't allow myself to ask for help. And it's not a sign of weakness, like needing help and being vulnerable is not a sign of weakness. And, I'm not Superwoman. So anyway, as far as all of that goes, this is going to be a start of some new things. Like once we break down the system as we know it, the new things will start rolling in, and we're already starting to see that shift and change already.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah.
I'm kind of blown away that we got the devil card, because it says master, right? And it's the number 15, and that's the devil. If you look at this picture, he's got his heart caged up, but there's a nice, beautiful green glow, behind that. And it's time for you to set yourself free from your patterns, your addictions, from things that are holding your heart back, where you can have pure joy, pure love come through. It's saying that you are the one that's caged your own heart in. And so it's time for you to release that. And then it's also saying rest and reconsider. So some of the emotions that you're feeling, you need to go over those. And like I said, write them down. But it's saying take the rest that you need, but you also need to change your position on something and reconsider something. The other card that followed that was death. And so this is a new beginning, a rebirth of something, and old ways are dying out. So that way new can come in. Mm-hmm. And so it's saying there's something that you need to release. Okay?
Yeah, for some of us, either it has just happened or it's about to happen, but we got a tower moment about to happen. I feel like this is more of an inner tower moment. I think the outer tower moments have been happening, right? Like, I mean...
Welcome to 2020.
Yeah, hello. This whole damn year has been that way. But I feel like it's because, I mean, take a look at this card. I mean, that straight up is a person sitting in lotus position, you know, and I feel like maybe it's the falling away of ego, falling away of old patterns, behaviors, addictions, etc. And I think that, we all know that in order to rebuild, you know, it has to be torn down. We can't just put a new building on top of an old building. We have to tear it down, clean it up, build a new foundation, build it back up, right? The problem is that all of the stress that we're dealing with right now is making it really hard to want to change those things, and especially the coping mechanisms that we use in order to not feel the stress and anxiety. Once you start letting those go, you're gonna feel a lot better, you know, and it can help facilitate that tower moment. Tower moments, here's the thing, is the tower moments aren't always bad. Like, it's like the three cards that people go ooh the most is like death, yeah, the tower, and the devil.
And devil, yeah, freak
and
out.
It's like,
and guess what? We got those.
Yeah, all of them. So really take some time to go inward, right? So do some meditation. My whole next step or set of cards that came out actually has to do with that. But now it's time to look at our past lives and start looking at the ancestors and what they have to say and really tap into that. The collective is awakening in a way, and very rapidly, unlike any other, I think, era that we've seen ever. Yeah. And not like personally that we've seen, but like that humanity has seen. And so it's interesting because it's almost like all of humanity is about ready to like just take a step into the unknown, right? And I think we have to. I think we have to in order to go on to whatever the next incarnation of humanity or spiritual enlightenment, etc. Like, I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah,
does that make sense?
It does. It does. So, we got the well-deserved reward card. And I feel like once we open up and release and start anew, you will see that we are very much alike more than we are different. And you'll see a coming together of people and of humanity and banding together to not only help the planet, but for the collective at large be in unison, like a well-oiled machine. I believe we can get there. I firmly believe that we can get there. And to me, that would be the well-deserved reward at the end. But the last card that I have is Temperance. There's a lot of healing that needs to happen. And it's coming. It is coming. So I know emotions are running high. He has 1 foot in water and 1 foot on ground. And we just need to make sure that we are listening and open to learning and to be accepting of new ideals, and try to find common ground of where you come from and where they're coming from, and just know that we are all in this together. But there's some healing to be had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's some spiritual healing that needs to be had also. I think for a select few of you in the collective, you've kind of turned your back on spirituality and you're in kind of a deep freeze of not knowing what to believe, not feeling like anything fits, like all of the things you used to believe maybe don't resonate anymore. But for some of you, a new teacher is coming, like a new guru, shaman, whatever word you want to put on it. And I think it's going to come in a package that you wouldn't expect. And so keep your eyes open for that, because at that point, you'll have to make a commitment to start following your new leader. And it's not so much in like a cult sort of fashion. That's not what I mean. It's like this person is going to have the medicine you seek, as it were. So just keep your eye open and keep your mind open, because like I said, the outside package isn't going to be what you expect. So, that may not resonate with everybody, but this is definitely a message for a select few of you, that your spiritual teacher is coming, and it's coming soon.
And it puts you on the path that you need to be on.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a path towards enlightenment.
Mm-hmm.
It's a level up, if you will.
Yeah.
So I know that I've found teachers in many different forms. And one that blew me away was she was significantly younger than I was. And I loved that I was open and receptive to learning from someone who is much younger than me. Because, wow, it's impressive to learn and grow, especially from someone that you weren't really expecting that kind of knowledge from. And so if you can drop that ego and just be open to what's coming your way, it'll help big time. So that's it for today.
Yeah.
But like, share, subscribe, give us feedback. We love it. Anything else?
I think that should do it.
All right. Well, do good things.
Or not.
Or not.
All right.
Peace.
Love you.